So this next part, we may not all have this yet. As you can see here, there's a preview for the Plan with Project Manager. When we go to create a new plan, we saw earlier we could create a basic or premium plan. There's also this newer option, Plan with Project Manager. This requires a Copilot license too. I'm just going to name this very simply so that we can get on to the more exciting parts. But here I can also add a group similar to what we did before, right? For this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my basic group again. Yeah. So it'll create this. It only takes a couple of seconds to create, so we're almost there. But what this does is it takes all the Copilot features that we saw with the premium plan, and it just goes a lot farther along. So here, we're really creating this plan along with Copilot. So when we're starting this plan, it's going to ask us to share our goal and relevant content. All right, so what I'm going to do is we'll create a plan here. Um, right, and then you can also upload a document. So if there's something that was similar or, something that could add some information that could be helpful in building the plan, you can upload a document. I'm going to upload, the very slide deck that we were showing you earlier, and I'm just going to generate these tasks. This part takes a little bit because it does need to go through that PowerPoint that I uploaded here and, think about what I've entered in here. What we're going to see is that it'll start to make suggestions about tasks. And we're also going to take a quick look at some of the views here. Notice that this looks a lot like the premium plan views that we saw earlier, especially if I give us a little more space, we'll see these. But notice that there are some additions. We've got the project manager tab here. So that's where we're starting out. The text that I put here, we can always update that. If this didn't come out the way we want, or if there's a change in scope, right? We can update this and then regenerate. These views here, we'll see the familiar grid, board, and timeline views, charts as well, but we've also got the whiteboard that we can use for interacting with the team and generating tasks even. All right, so we shared our goal with the project manager agent. We uploaded our file, and at the bottom here, we'll start to see that based on what we provided, it's created some custom tasks for us. So we get to see the task title. We can also see who these are assigned to. Right now, not assigned to anybody, but we can hover over these. We can delete something. If it suggested something that we don't want, right, we can always delete that. And we can take a quick look at these, right? Maybe if we're looking at these, we might decide that one of these needs to be tweaked a little bit or, removed completely. So the options are there for that. But then one exciting option here is that we can assign these any task to the project manager, and not me, the project manager, but the project manager agent. What happens when I did that, I clicked on the select or assign all to the project manager, it assigns me too, and we're going to collaborate on these tasks. So if we look at the status here, this one's already in progress. So without me even having the time to open up this task, the project manager agent is already getting to work on it. So if we're looking at identifying the key features and benefits, the project manager agent is already taking care of looking through those and making some suggestions. And it'll start to move through all of these task by task. There are also options. Always kind of check the bottoms here because they give you some other ideas. This would open this up in the board view, just like clicking up here. All right, so if we go over to our grid view, we'll see our tasks listed there. We can see that these are assigned to me. I can start to share this team or this project plan and add other people here. So I'll add Charlene and Stella to this task with me. I can update the durations. Again, those items that, Copilot may not really know, but I would know. I can just type in quickly here. We can always add more tasks on our own, right, manually. Our baseline feature is here that we saw earlier. Filters and conditional coloring are here too. The board view is here. And with the board view, there's an exciting grouping that we didn't see in the premium plan. It's grouped by project manager. So there may be some tasks that are not assigned to anybody, right? We assigned all tasks to the project manager, so that's why we're starting off with everything here. But notice that there's this one, project manager result ready. The project manager agent has already looked over this. I'm going to open up the card so we can see, but it's already looked through this and identified these features for us. Now, we should always give a glance over this and just make sure we're okay with it. If we're not, we can start to type into this. If there's a key feature that we've thought of, but we don't see here, we can type directly into this area, right? And then we can start to type in. Okay. And then we can always regenerate at the top. So that'll incorporate our feedback. Okay. And it has done a fantastic job of giving us something that has a lot of insight, a lot of great information here, and very well explained too. So we get to look through all of this. We can tweak what we want and remove it. We can add to it as needed. And then there's also a nice little summary at the end telling us what it's concluded. So it did all this work, not in 11 days, but just in a couple of minutes. And then everything else that we're used to with planner cards is still here too. So the checklist items, dependencies, right? The ability to add this to a channel is here. And then here, as we're working through this, I was hoping this would happen so we could take a look. There are some things where the project manager agent, it's not going to know, what we would know as people. So it will assign some things to us, and it puts it in this bucket here called needs your input. I'm going to show this quickly because I want to make sure we have time to look at the whiteboard. But what it'll do here is it'll show us what we need. Okay. So we might want to tweak this a little bit and then regenerate, but we've got some options there. And we can see that it's even added notes for us and everything. So we're off to a good start, and then we can see that it's working on the next task now. So when we come back, this whole board might look a little bit different, but it's nice to see things in progress, and then we can just refine it. The timeline view is a lot like what we saw before, so I won't spend too much time there. Same with charts. Whiteboard is the other exciting part of this. So this is Microsoft Whiteboard, right? We can use this to collaborate. We can use this for our team to come in and say what their ideas or something are for this. We might have a group meeting, or something that I do a lot with the PMs on our team is I might reach out and say, hey, what do you think about this? And what have you done previously that worked really well? I can start to collect that data here. Okay, so I could say that I'm not going to do too much here, just keep it very simple, but I can have these little stickies here. People can kind of react to these. So somebody might have a question about this and, indicate that here. Somebody might love it. And then also we can add comments here. And there are all kinds of things we can do, as far as formatting and all that goes, right? With the comments here, what's really great is that these will be time-stamped, right? So we can see who commented what and when. And then, of course, we got the little bubble there with a little picture in it to know where these came from. What is also really great here is that Copilot is sitting right there. If we needed to suggest some ideas for me, right, we can enter that in here. So if we're thinking about testing, right, we can ask it to suggest some ideas or some tasks that we should do related to that. And we'll see that it generates a couple of ideas and stickies for us here too. And with any of these, we're here kind of brainstorming and putting all of our ideas out there. What we're going to have an option to do is to create a task based on, any one of these, or a group of them if we want to. So when I click on create task here, that task will get added over to the project plan. So there's a nice little indicator here letting me know that this note was converted over to a task. Okay. This is bringing together loop components and the whiteboard and making it really easy to collaborate with the team and to make sure that we're all communicating and sharing our feedback on these items. Um, this is taking a little bit longer than I want, given how much time we have left. So I do just want to quickly show that Loop is incorporated here too. If I click on this, it'll open up Loop in the browser. But again, we can continue to update our team or work with our team there, right? So we get to see some of these other tasks. We get to see, this is a previous plan that I did, but we get to see some of this information here too, right? So we can really take our collaboration a level deeper there.